All right, guys, counterpunch boxing. Okay, look, today, man, I'm gonna do just a raw video, try to get everything out there. I want to talk about the Kovalev Ward fight last night, and I'm gonna touch on a lot of things today. I put out a little video last night, kind of like an immediate reaction type thing. You know, I went to bed, I woke up, and really, man, I woke up in a bad mood. Uh, I mean, I feel like, it feels like something, something bad happened last night. I mean, it really does. It feels like, like this fucking tragedy went down last night, and it did. Uh, I mean, in my opinion, that was the biggest robbery in boxing that I can recall. I mean, I could name a few others that are up there with it. But I mean, what we witnessed last night, I mean, that was like monumental. That was huge. And the and, I've gone back. I went. I watched the fight again today. I tried to give Andre Ward every round that I could, and I could only give him 5 out of 12. I mean, really, I had it 8-4, but yeah, I mean, five if you're being generous, and you could even argue the guy probably won three, and the other one or two was like really tight, really close. So it depends on how you want to look at it. Uh, I mean, if you really want to, really want to get crazy and use your imagination, you could call it a draw. I mean, even if you did that, the knockdown, Kovalev wins. Like, I mean, just no matter how you look at it, it was a robbery. And look, after the Manny Pacquiao fight, I mean, boxing, we needed something good to happen. I mean, we had a lot of crossover fans, a lot of casuals, people ordering the fight, and I'm curious. I want to know what the pay-per-view numbers are, but people ordering the fight that normally wouldn't order it, and again, they're immediately turned off. I mean, it's like boxing is trying to recover from that Manny Pacquiao Mayweather, nightmare. I call it the biggest heist of the decade. I mean, it was. I mean, that was the biggest heist of the decade. I mean, that's the $1 billion fight. You know. And I literally wanted my money back. I mean, I felt like I got cheated out of my money. And last night, great fight. I can't fault the fighters. I mean, we'll get to Andre Ward. I can fault him, but they did their job. The judges did not. They didn't do their job. But yeah, after that, pay per view is dead. I will never order another pay per view fight ever. And I've always paid for them because I mean, I want to support boxing, and to me, that's like one way that we can contribute, to boxing is we can order the pay per view, we can buy the merchandise, we can donate to different funds, we can, and even given our time, you don't have money to give, you can give your time, and we do, we do a lot of reporting. I think the independent media, like myself, guys like us and guys on YouTube, we promote these guys probably more than mainstream media. I mean, I guarantee you, any real boxing channel out there has put more time and effort into any given boxer than ESPN or HBO or whoever. I mean, we put a lot of time and effort into these guys. So when there's an injustice like this, when there's a robbery, it really hits home. And and as a newcomer to YouTube, I mean, God, it makes me like not even want to do this shit. It's like, I mean, I am, you know, I mean, I really considered like shutting my channel down last night. And speaking of shutting my channel down, apparently we have a bunch of trolls, a bunch of people that want to come over to the channel and spy on what we're doing. And they're like, they're in this imaginary war. I mean, I don't have any beef with anyone. If I did, it damn sure wouldn't be over YouTube. If I had a problem with someone, I'd be knocking at your door. I mean, I wouldn't be I'm not some little fucking high school girl that's gonna have like a YouTube beef or a fucking Twitter war or a fucking Facebook argument or whatever. I'm a grown fucking man. If I have a problem with someone, we can talk in person. I can come to your house. I can come, we can talk, man to man. So it's weird. I got all these little kids coming over here, like trying to stir shit up and create a problem where there isn't a problem. And this whole YouTube thing, man, it's really starting to get on my nerves. I mean, I did this because I love boxing, and it's a natural progression of things. I wanted to go to the next level. And YouTube, I mean, it's just kind of like your internship. It's a natural progression of what you're doing, and it's crazy how the racism and the little trolls and the spies. I mean, these people. Man, they just act like it's like life or death on YouTube, and yeah, I mean, I'm blown away by it. I really am. I mean, I'm truly blown away. I'm like, like people, we're on YouTube. I mean, it's not life or death. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a lot of the guys out there, like, they depend on money from YouTube, to pay their bills or whatever, and they're worried about their lights getting cut off, or maybe they can't make the car insurance payment or some shit. But my channel's not even monetized. I don't care about the money and the views and this. I care about the views, but not because of money, because I want to help. I want to help the progression of boxing. I want it to excel. I want it to move forward. I want to open new doorways. For me, so I can further my career in what I'm doing. It has nothing to do with Google ad money. I mean, and in fact, I don't think I will ever monetize my channel for that reason alone. I'm not going to be a part of that train wreck, and I'm not going to get involved in these petty, female like, online battles. Man, I'm a grown ass man. I'm not going to do it. So for all the little trolls that want to come to the channel and try to stir shit up, you're going to get blocked, and you might get a fucking knock on your door too, because really, I don't play that shit. I really don't. All right, so moving on. Yeah, Kovalev completely robbed. And what bothers me, you think about it. We look at it, and he was robbed of a fight. He was robbed of his belts, his money, his legacy. When you think about a robbery, it's not just like, oh, he lost, and I'm flipping through pictures here. I want to show you guys something in a minute. It's not like, oh yeah, well, he lost, and now he's not undefeated. Now he's gonna be, whatever, 31-1. 30 wins, one loss, one draw. It's not about that. I mean, he's actually gonna lose money. You know, uh, he's going to his legacy is forever changed. I mean, he's not going to go down as the undefeated, light heavyweight champ. He was well on his way to, breaking the record for title defenses. I mean, the Andre Ward fight was his ninth title defense. I mean, when you look at all that, I mean, he was robbed in many, many ways. I mean, financially, emotionally, his legacy. I mean, just so many different ways, and even his money, because now, now that he is going to be a challenger. I mean, it's crazy. He no longer holds a belt. He's going to be a challenger now. I mean, and look, in my mind, and I think in a lot of people's mind, Kovalev is the champion. I mean, Andre Ward, he might be keeping the belts warm. He might be, propping them up right now. But, they have a rematch clause. Now, I don't think Andre Ward has the balls to rematch him. Why? Because he knows he can't win. And he knows he already lost. And he knows in a rematch, Kovalev is going to come in there and annihilate him. And he knows that. I mean, it's going to be that round two. Every round is going to be round two in a rematch. They're not going to play that. So it's highly unlikely that we'll get a rematch. I think Kovalev is just going to be, he's screwed for real. And I don't know what they do to move forward. I haven't even thought about it. Now I got, I wrote down a few notes here that I want to talk about today. Just everything that bothered me about the fight. And everything going on right now. The commentators. I mean, it, man, it's almost like mainstream media where you have, they're biased and they have a narrative they want to follow. They have a fighter that they want to promote, that they want to push, they want to get behind, and that fighter is Andre Ward. You heard him at the end of the fight, talking about how, oh, he's got to win he's got to win every all 4 rounds in order to, to possibly, in order to have a chance at winning a decision, he's got to win, round 9, 10, 11, and 12. At the end of the 8th round, they make a comment because they know he's losing the fight. Well, 9, 10, 11, 12, I think he might have won one of those rounds. And then all of a sudden, after they realize that he didn't win 9, 10, 11, and 12, they flip. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, it's a real close fight. I mean, it's anyone's guess who the winner is, and da 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 da. I mean, it's like they lie directly to your face. Like, as you're watching the shit go down, they're telling you that, you're looking at a blue boxing ring, but they're telling you it's red. I mean, it's that blatant. I mean, it's just a flat out ball-faced lie. These commentators are disgusting. And I'll tell you another thing, Max Kellerman. I looked up to him. I did. I mean, I had a ton of respect for the way he could articulate, any kind of commentary, any kind of news. He was, in my mind, he was kind of my idol as a reporter. The insight, the knowledge, the depth, the way he could take, in 1 minute, he could articulate a point that takes other people 10 and 15 minutes. He had a way to get that, to get his point across. And, a great speaker, good presentation, doesn't miss a beat. And, so for Max Kellerman to, completely sell out, and wow, what a fucking sellout he is. It's a shame. It is a shame. And I noticed ever since he went on to ESPN with Stephen A. Smith, he started to change. He got up there with them corporate guys, and he started to change. And by the way, I'm kind of flipping through. I took a lot of pictures today, a screen grab of kind of the the overall feedback from the fight. Right here. Boxing's real killers are the judges. These are random pictures I took. A lot of pro Kovalev or pro Andre Ward guys, agreeing that he lost. And I've heard a few people, that are trying to make the argument that Andre won. Your diehard idiots that, they're not real boxing fans. In their mind, the guy that won is the guy that they like the most. And in a lot of their minds, that guy would be Andre Ward. Because now they claim, this is the American versus the Russian, right? The fucking xenophobes, okay? Anyone from a different culture, different country, whatever, if you're afraid of them or, if you follow some narrative, again, created by mainstream media, then, you are a xenophobe. And that's exactly what it is, and we talked about this a month ago, and you can go back and look in our group. We talked about that word, xenophobe, a month ago in the group. About and it was like the Rocky Balboa, versus the big ass Russian dude, we've already been over it, but we were joking. We didn't think that it would, it would really happen. We didn't think it would come to life, and it did. And they tried to push that on you, lad. They tried to tell you, almost like it's unpatriotic un-American if you don't get behind Ward and you don't agree with the lie and the corruption that just went down right in front of your fucking face, then you're un-American. You're unpatriotic. I mean that's pretty much what Jim Lampley said last night. And then you got Andre Ward's promoter, Prince, which is a thug. I mean, I've heard a ton of stories about him, about how, they raided the Mayweather gym and beat the shit out of a bunch of guys in the Mayweather gym. And then Mayweather went to Bob Arum, and said, I don't remember how much, like $100,000 to pay this dude off. Murder. I mean, I've heard all kinds of stories about Prince. So, I kind of wonder, did he put pressure on the judges? I mean, did he pay people off? Did he threaten people? I don't know. I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. It wouldn't shock me one bit, not one bit, because that guy right there. I mean, he's a thug, like for real thug. Uh, you know, so yeah. And I think, what I think will happen. I think Ward will vacate. They have a rematch clause. Now, I don't know. I mean, Andre Ward and contracts. I mean, look, we saw what Andre Ward did. I mean, he sabotaged his entire career for over 3 years over a contract issue. So I don't see him. I don't know. Andre Ward and contracts, like, they don't mean shit to him. So the rematch clause, I doubt we're going to get it. What I think we're going to get is, where is it at? We're going to get Andre Ward and boom, that guy, Adonis Stevens. I think we're gonna get Andre Ward and Adonis Stevenson. Okay, and where was this guy when Kovalev had all the belts? But I'll tell you, Adonis, he's looking at Andre Ward and going, I can beat that motherfucker. I mean, look, I think I'm a heavyweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight. I think I could beat Andre Ward. And I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not even joking. I mean, look, right now, my sparring partner is better than Andre Ward. I'm telling you, from what I saw in that Kovalev fight, uh, I mean, dude, he was fighting scared. You know, jab, grab, hook, jab, grab, hook, run, tackle, headbutt, jab, grab, hook. I mean, amateur shit right there. I mean, answer me this. Answer me a couple of questions. How many combos did you see? I saw one, a right hook to the body followed by a right hook to the head. Okay, I like that one. That was a good one, and I think that was in like the eight, or no, like, yeah, round eight, I believe. Uh, yeah. How many combos did Andre Ward throw? How many power shots did he land? Uh, how many times did he counter that clean, effective punching, or effective aggression? Everything he did was sloppy, was like full of fear, was, he was unsure. I mean, what he was basically, he was trying to get through every round. I mean, he went into a round with the mentality of, oh shit, I got to get through the round. And he kind of, I mean, he got comfortable. There was one or two rounds where he kind of got in a rhythm. He got a little comfortable, and I think Kovalev kind of took a round off. And if I had any criticism for Kovalev, I mean, he should have just unloaded on this dude. I mean, I'm talking about how, like, Marcos Maidana did to Mayweather. Like, he should have completely unloaded on him every round. You know, especially round one, two, like up to like round four, maybe five. You don't want to gas out. But I mean, he should have damn near emptied the tank before the halfway point. And if he would have done that, he would have knocked him out. Like in the second round when he knocked him down, right then and there. I mean, he should have just went wild. And when they said, even when they interviewed Kovalev after the fight, they were like, man, how did you maintain, you were calm and you kept it together even after the knockdown, very disciplined. And I felt like, he should have turned into a dog at that point. If I had a guy hurt like that, man, I mean, I'd turn into an animal and I'd get him out of there. And if he made it out of that round, I'd come charging, I'd charge his ass in the following round, you know? And that's how Kovalev needs to fight Andre Ward. Because if you don't, I mean, it's going to be 100 rounds of jab, grab, hug, hold, elbow, knee, low blow, headbutt, whine into the referee, whine into your corner, I mean, just man, I have no respect at all for Andre Ward. 5 fights in 5 years. His last 3 fights, he looked like shit in them. And really, honestly, I think he looked better in like the Brand fight or Barrera than he did in the Kovalev fight. I mean, for real. I thought he looked bad in against Smith and Brand and Barrera, but he looked worse against Kovalev, in my opinion. And it's not really opinion; it's a fucking fact. I mean, he looked terrible in that fight. I mean, I don't understand how anyone can score right here. I mean, look at this, okay? John McKell, 113, 114. Burt Clemens, 113, 114. Glenn Trowbridge, 113, 114. That is a unanimous decision. I mean, how? We can get up here in the rounds and you can break it down, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a video where I completely break it down, where I go round by round by round, and I'm going to actually watch the fight, and I'll say, okay, well, Glenn Trowbridge, gave him, the fourth round or whatever, and I'm going to look at that fourth round. I want to break it down. I want to pretend to be that judge, and I want to know if I can see whatever it is they were looking at. Because I went back and watched the fight, and every time I watch it, I favor Kovalev even more. And now we have people out there talking about, well, if you go back and watch it again, really, Andre Ward didn't look as bad. It's got to watch it again. No, I watched it in HD originally. I went and watched a bunch of different rounds. Like I watched the round 2. I watched 8, 9, and 10 over and over and over. And I watched the entire fight today. I'd pause it, back it up a little bit, hit play, pause it, back it up, hit play. I don't need to watch it anymore. I don't. And I even tried to give it to Andre Ward. Like I'd be like, all right, I want to give that round to Andre Ward. And I'd watch it, and I couldn't do it. Even if I tried, I couldn't fucking do it. It was a complete robbery. And the thing is, you're going to have all these people out there on YouTube running their mouth, talking about, oh, Ward beat his ass and he got exposed and blah blah. You're gonna hear all that bullshit. And man, why? And I really want to know, like, why do people go to those channels? Why do they give, anyone that makes a comment like that or puts out a video like that? Why would you give them any more momentum by clicking on their channel? I don't get it. Like, why support that garbage? Because it is fucking garbage. 90% of the people on YouTube are fucking idiots, And here's the thing, the whole nice guy shit, I'm not doing it anymore. Really. Because I've noticed, if you're a fucking nice guy on YouTube, you get eaten alive, And it's a shame that, I can't come on to YouTube and just be cool, make a video and get on with it. But you can't. You really can't. You have people that'll take advantage of you. You have little trolls and little spies like from other channels. I literally have a guy right now that, he's like a fucking stalker. And he's from another channel. But here, what that tells me? That tells me that I'm doing something right. If I have all these big channels out there, checking me out, I'm doing something right. And I'll tell you what it is. It's real, recognized as real. That's what it is. And I know my shit. I know my boxing. I'll debate anybody out there on YouTube about anything. And I welcome anyone who would like to sit down and debate, the Andre Ward Kovalev fight. Hit me up. For real, hit me up. I mean, we can watch it together. We can do like a Skype video, whatever you want. If you want to show me how Andre Ward won the fight, I welcome it. I mean, I welcome it with friendly, open arms. Show me how Andre Ward won that fight. You can't. You can try, but at the end of the day, you can't because he lost, and you know it. I mean, man. And and then another thing, that Hooker Perez fight. Okay, on the undercard, uh, Hooker fights for Rock Nation. Now, I think, again, a complete robbery. I don't want to get too much into that fight, but I mean, one of the judges' cards, I forget what it was. I mean, it was so like it was so bad. Like it was like I can't even remember, man, but it was horrible. Horrible, horrible. I mean, and it was clear that that judge, was corrupt. And when is like Nevada or whoever, when is anyone going to step in, and say something about these judges? And then like last night, you had Harold Letterman, praising the judges, talking about how great they are, and how, oh yeah, they have integrity and they've never, they wouldn't do anything corrupt and blah 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 blah, and then boom, they turn around and they're fucking corrupt. I mean, I don't trust HBO anymore. I damn sure don't trust Max Kellerman. And, I'll make it, I mean, I will make a video every day exposing these people. I no longer look up to them. And here's the thing, like I've covered fights. I've been right next to Roy Jones and Max Kellerman and Jim Lampley, at the Canelo Kirkland fight. I mean, I spent 2 or 3 days with them. I mean, I was right there with them. And, I mean, they were like my idols, I mean, I really, I really looked up to what they did. And it's a shame that, you have a young, upcoming reporter like me, that kind of your hero or whatever, or your idol, someone you look up to be, someone you aspire to be like, now I have to look at that guy and go, wow, what a fucking piece of shit, or, he's sold out. He's corrupt. I mean, it's a shame. It really is. The whole thing is a shame. It's a shame that, like I said, Kovalev's legacy is ruined. His money, his I wouldn't say his career, but you never know. I mean, a loss like this can really hurt a fighter mentally. Mentally, he can be like, you know what? I've made millions. Fuck this shit. I'm out. And I wouldn't blame him if he can't get. I mean, if he can't get the rematch from Andre Ward. I don't think I could blame him. Just to, cash out, kind of like Marcos Maidana did. I made my money. I'm out. I mean, he had a baby. He's got a family. Wouldn't blame him one bit. There's not one bit. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got, guys. I mean, I just wanted to really, get into depth about, just really what I feel about the whole fight. And, last night I put out a real quick video, and, I wanted to kind of just get a little bit deeper into it today and kind of, expand on what I said last night. And, I want to mention it again, for the people coming to my channel, that, are pretending to be my friend, or, trying to like bait, ask questions and like bait me into saying something, so they can run back and go tell whoever it is they're, whatever it is going on. And I don't want to give away too much, because like I said, if the shit continues, I'm gonna go fucking knock on their door, and they're gonna like it, because I don't play that. I do not play that. But I'm gonna block a few people today, and maybe I must be doing something right. Must be doing something right. The channel is growing at an amazing rate. I mean, last night, God, we had, I don't know, what, 300-400 new subscribers. I mean, in a 2-hour period. So we're growing. We will be one of the biggest voices on YouTube. And look, the channel's only been up for 3 weeks, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant or cocky, but when you have integrity, when you're honest, when you're knowledgeable, when you're creditable, you can look into my background. I've done nothing but contribute to boxing in a positive way for over a fucking decade. For over a decade. I got over 40 amateur fights, okay? And you people don't believe me. I'll be more than happy to put video up in the group. I'm tired of that too. Oh, you never been in a ring. Okay, motherfucker. All right. First of all, I'd like to show you in real person, once you come down to the gym. Second of all, I'm going to put video up in the group, okay? I mean, man, I remember when I was a little kid watching Muhammad Ali fights with my dad. I used to go to Blockbuster Video. A lot of you people are probably too young to even know what I'm talking about. I would rent Mike Tyson's Greatest Knockouts on VHS. I mean, do you even know what that is? On a VCR. It's like an actual tape, a big black box with tape inside of it. We'd go to Blockbuster Video and rent movies like, boxing's greatest, knockouts or whatever. We didn't even have internet. I got my news back then from Ring Magazine, from ESPN Magazine, things like that. We'd go to the library and check out books, on Ali and Tyson and Frazier and, Sugar Ray Robinson, all these great, Jack Dempsey, Rocky Marciano, all these great legends, I'd read books on them when I was a little kid. I mean, growing up, I did a lot of sparring with Golden Gloves. A lot of my friends competed in Golden Gloves. I never did, but, I helped those guys train and get ready for it. And then I moved on and, I started out around welterweight, and then now I've, pretty much grown into a heavyweight. I'm 6'1", 254 pounds. Okay, I'm fucking 254 pounds, but I'm trying to cut back down to light heavyweight. And next year in 2017 and 2017, I'm going to compete again. I'm going to get back into tournaments, local tournaments. Like it's kind of like the old guys tournaments, because I'm getting too old to hang with them young bucks. But my point is, I wake up every day at 5 a.m. I go, I work out, I box, I spar, I train, I hit the bag. I come back, I get in the group, I put up my articles, I make my YouTube. I mean, like my half of my life is devoted to boxing. So when I see people shit on it, like the people that shit on it last night, I get very offended. I really do, because people think that your voice can't be heard. Well, you got a little YouTube channel, a little Facebook group. You can't be heard, but you can be heard. And like I said, right now we might not be this huge like channel, but we will be, and we will be because I won't settle for anything less. When I put my mind to something, I get it done. And I'm telling you, we're going to be a big channel. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way, so all these people out here talking shit or, not giving me the credit that I deserve, I'll remember that. When I'm up top looking down at you, I will remember that. And here's the thing, I mean, not long ago, well, probably about 8, 9, 10 years ago, I was a guy making comments in boxing groups. I'd, just like a lot of you guys out there, I'd get in there and make a comment, and then eventually I opened up my own group, and then I ran groups for a lot of other guys out there, and I'm not going to mention who, but I actually opened and created and ran a lot of, well, really 4 of the biggest boxing groups out there. I mean, it's just I have a lot of experience, a lot of connections. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing, and I don't like when people treat me like an idiot. And you know who you are. You know who you are. I'm talking directly to you. I don't like that. I mean, I give nothing but respect. And I expect that in return. So. Yeah, guys, I just had to vent. I mean, sorry to keep rambling on, but I needed to vent. I needed to get this shit out there. I wanted to tell you how I felt about the fight, about the channel, about everything going on right now. I mean, And look, like I said, I'm not discouraged. I'm going to make a bunch of videos today. I'm probably going to move on from the whole Kovalev Ward thing. I want to get into Walters and Lomachenko coming up. I want to get into that. We got like Keith Thurman and Garcia next year. Update on Golovkin, Canelo. I want to get into that because we've got all that coming up, real soon. And then there's a lot of other fights out there we have coming up that they're really not getting a lot of attention. I want to bring it we got Brandon Rios and Victor Ortiz. I broke that story, by the way. You go to any YouTube channel right now, and they're all talking about Brandon Rios and Victor Ortiz. Well, I was the original guy. I was the first guy to break that story. So yeah, and as far as my prediction, I want to I want to get my I want to get it on record that I predicted Kovalev would win by decision or TKO, and my prediction was accurate. He won that fight. He is the champion in my mind, and in 90% of America, not Russia, fucking America. He is the champion. And by the way, to label him as some, big bad Russian, the dude lives in LA and Russia. He has a fucking house in LA, or where is it? California, LA, whatever. He's been over here now for 5 years, contributing to society, paying paying taxes. Do you have any idea what the fucking taxes are in Las Vegas? He is contributing to our American society. He's paid his dues, and the thing is, we wanted him here. We made him a star. We turned him into who he is. So I don't know. Kovalev's got to feel just betrayed right now. If I was him, I would feel fucking completely betrayed. I wouldn't rest until I got my rematch with Andre Ward, and then probably after that, I'd probably never fight on HBO again. Not fuck probably. I would never. I'd go sign a deal with fucking Showtime. I would never fight on HBO again. I damn sure would never work with Rock Nation again, or what is it, James Prince, or whatever the fuck his name is. I would. And really, I'd tell him now. I'd tell him my intentions now. I want my rematch. The belts belong to me. I'm the rightful owner. I'll never fight on HBO. I'll never work with Rock Nation again. And, fuck off. And then what I would do is I'd probably go to Showtime and I'd beat the shit out of every fighter, that they tried to back up and get behind. Every HBO fighter, every Rock Nation fighter, I would. And not only that, you got to think. You have Kovalev and you have, like Loma. You have a lot of guys like that. Gennady Golovkin. I would make it their mission to get together and just take down that empire, because that's what it is. Take down that corrupt HBO empire. And and the thing is, I would probably unsubscribe from HBO. Like, I would literally delete it from my cable network, but I can't because of the boxing on there. But I want to get to a point to where, I don't know, man, maybe just watch Showtime. I don't know what to do because, I don't want to continue giving them my money. Like I said, they're corrupt, and, I want to do something about it. And I'm going to think about it. I'm going to come up with a plan. I don't know, maybe I even thought about like writing them a letter, or, getting like an online petition about the corruption, maybe that kind of thing, Yeah, I've got like Jim Lampley, he's on my Twitter account. Max Kellerman, he's on my Twitter, and I'm definitely going to try to reach out to him that way. And I'm sure, here's another thing too. I'll run across these guys at a fight. Now, I can't go up as a press member at a big fight and start shit with them, but I would definitely ask them, like, hey, what happened in the Kovalev Ward fight? I would confront them, and I'd have a camera pointed right at them, And I'd nail them with the hard questions like, well, what about this and what about that and why did you, I would. And that's what we don't have. We don't have enough reporters out there today with balls and integrity, that are willing to pop a camera up in their face and ask them the true questions. Because if you do that, then you're blacklisted. You can never go back. But I'm not going to be that type of reporter to bite my tongue. I'm not. I mean, I'll find another way in. But anyway, guys, that's all I got today. 40-minute rant video. But look, I'm good. I feel better. Leave your comment below. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think about the fight. I want to know what you think about the channel. I want to know what you think about, the little spies we have coming over here. Just about the greed and the backstabbing that goes on in YouTube, which I've been around YouTube a long time, but, I've never been, directly attacked like that. And I gotta tell you, it's weird. It's fucking weird. But anyway, Counterpunch Boxing, we're out. The hell do you turn it? Hang on, I gotta turn it off, guys.